There's a criminal probe and now a class action lawsuit into the Costa Concordia's doomed voyage, which ended with at least 16 people dead, dozens others missing. Joining us now is Mitchell Proner of Proner and Proner. He's a lawyer representing passengers in the class action lawsuit against Carnival Corporation. Thank you for being here. So you're going to be filing this class action lawsuit later this week.
That is our intention. We've been contacted by hundreds of passengers from around the world, and they're continuing to contact us on a moment-to-moment basis. And we intend to file on their behalf by the end of the week in state court in Florida.
You've been talking to these passengers firsthand, and a lot of the rescued passengers are talking about how they were not told by the crew exactly what to do, where to go, that they were noticeably absent. Are you hearing that as well? The
horror stories are actually worse than that. We have people that were on the deck of the ship, and they were getting different instructions. Some people were bilingual, and they were hearing one instruction in Italian and then given a different instruction in English and trying to ask the crew members what was going on, and they're getting facial expressions differing from the actual instructions they received as to what they should do. So there was pandemonium, mass confusion, and a terribly frightening situation.
When you see the video, you really see firsthand what a lot of these passengers went through, just the mayhem of it all. It says that, like, when the Costa Concordia actually listed and sank, a lot of the lifeboats actually weren't able to even be deployed into the water. It seems like there was a total systems failure here.
Oh, there was a complete systems failure. And as a matter of fact, what you don't see on some of the videos, you can see in the aftermath. When you look at the ship now and you see some of the lifeboats that are hanging halfway down the ship that's still buoyant,
the part is still up.
In the water. Some people were actually on those lifeboats that were halfway deployed and then got stuck. And then from those lifeboats that were hanging, some individuals had to try and get back onto the ship to try and get back onto the deck, to swing over, to try and get back on the ship to get onto another lifeboat. So it was a horrific circumstance.
So what recourse do these passengers have?
We're going to get them compensation. It's not easy. Whenever there's a lawsuit like this, the first defense that the cruise owners put forth is a legal doctrine known as forum nonconveniens, where they're going to say the United States is not an appropriate jurisdiction for these types of cases. And a lot of those defenses have been upheld. But we think in this particular circumstance where you have such reckless behavior that Carnival and the Costa Cruise Lines will be held accountable in the United States courts.
So what do passengers do? Because there's so many people out there that are planning their trips and things like that. Sometimes things go terribly wrong, like we did see at the Costa Concordia. Do you have to have that in the back of your head, that you might not have jurisdiction, that you might not have rights, and that you are taking your life in your own hands?
Well, as a matter of fact, first of all, when people signed up for this cruise, there was a ticket, and the ticket had limitations, and most people don't read the limitations. But the limitations are onerous, and they say the only court of jurisdiction, of competent jurisdiction, is Genoa, Italy, and the limitations are $50, and that's the most you could get. And people sign. You can't say when you sign up for one of these cruises, well, you know what, the third clause, I don't agree with that. Let me cross that out, and I'll get on the boat. That's just not the way it works. And it's the same thing when you purchase a car, when you get on a plane. And there's international conferences such as the Athens Convention that limits the responsibility of these ship owners, and they have been upheld, and these tickets have been upheld. But what we're trying to do is we are trying to address the issues and approach them in American courts and say, when you have reckless behavior, such as what was evidenced in this situation, these limitations should not be allowed, and we're going to get compensation for these individuals.
Mitchell, thank you so much for being here, and keep us posted on what's happening and all the developments with this class action lawsuit.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it is 7:12.